Back with us now on Newsmax Prime, and you and I head back to the border, figuratively speaking, because a new border surge has begun in November. The number of unaccompanied minors getting caught crossing our border ranks as an all-time high. Thus far, the U.S. Border Patrol says it's picked up over 10,500 juveniles. That number is more than twice the number at this same time last year. Now the Obama administration is announcing emergency measures to handle this unprecedented number. And guess what those measures are? More shelters. Let's talk about this more with my good friend and Newsmax TV host, Dennis Michael Lynch, checking in from Newsmax, New York. We get to tell you now that early next year, Dennis Michael Lynch will be featured on his eponymously named program, Dennis Michael Lynch Unfiltered. And so we don't expect you to be filtered tonight either, Lynch. We want to get straight to it, pal. Here it is, and the way some of the reporters are talking about this new surge of Central Americans, unaccompanied minors, although they're not babes in swaddling clothes. We're hearing that there's just no choice, that they have to put up more shelters. What's really going on the southern border?
What's really going on is the fundamental transformation of America designed by President Barack Obama. JD, you and I have been two of the biggest voices shouting out loud as much as we possibly could to shut down the border, stop the flow of people coming in. And President Barack Obama doesn't want that because he fundamentally wants to change America. He wants as many people flooding in as possible. And isn't it convenient that right now all eyes are on California, all eyes are on ISIS, and meanwhile the American people are distracted. We've got record numbers coming in through the border. Now, you know and I know the surge never stops. It's just at a high right now. And here's something your audience needs to know. When they say the number is 10,500 children, or as you know, it's pretty much teenagers, being caught at the border, what they're not telling you is they're not bringing out how many families are being caught at the border and how many criminals and how many people actually got through. So that 10,500 number is scary, but when you put it collectively together, it is country changing.
And it could also be for everyone caught. The rule of thumb used to be about 9 or 10 would come in. So you've got that factor working too, Dennis. But here's the other thing. The ones they do catch are saying, oh yeah, we know if we come, we'll get to stay. So despite all the rhetoric about observing court rulings, this president is just full speed ahead on the open border.
I came to Newsmax today. I walked here to the office. And as I stood the corner waiting for the light to change, there was a bunch of guys there. There's a FedEx guy, a UPS guy, and delivery being made. And as I'm sitting there and trying to figure out what they're talking about, because the whole thing was done in Spanish, I questioned how many Americans are not working, how many people who speak English are not working because we continue to take people into this country, be it illegally or legally, and put them into the workforce. America, the American worker, its culture, everything, our national security is getting completely thrown under the bus by the President of the United States, who cares less about the things I just mentioned. He just wants to change this country fundamentally, and JD, you and I know he's doing a great job.
DM, last night on this program, we had a Navy veteran, my doctor. He was my doctor when he served in the Navy at the U.S. Capitol. Zuhdi Jasser. Now we know him as a leader in the Muslim reform community. On this program last night, I asked him about taking a pause in terms of admitting anybody. Here's what he had to say.
Absolutely. The timeout is for all immigration because, by the way, strategically, it's not just Muslims that are the problem. You have two enemies in Syria. One is the Assadists, who are Muslim mostly, but there's also many operatives of the Ba'ath regime, which are working with Russia, working with Iran. We just had somebody sanctioned who was a non-Muslim by the U.S. Treasury for funneling and paying for oil from Syria. So it really is strategically wrong, but ultimately somebody who's trying to be commander-in-chief needs to lead and educate America, not just pander.
Well, you heard him right there. Brother Lynch, what do you think of what Zudy had to say? Do we just need a moratorium on all immigration? Final word to you for 30 seconds, sir.
Absolutely. And this is why America loves Trump. Trump may not be saying things politically correct, but his ideas are headed in the right direction. We need to stop immigration for a while and let the immigration department catch its breath, be able to do background checks the right way. And when all American citizens are on the pathway to the American dream, then we could turn around and look at our immigration system again. But we need to stop the flood from coming in.
Dennis Michael Lynch, soon to be featured on a new Newsmax program, Dennis Michael Lynch Unfiltered. That'll start next year, but we look forward to many more visits, and we thank you for your time tonight. Now, you heard what Dennis had to say. Agree or disagree? We'd love to get your comments. Send them to me at newsmaxtv.com/comments. There's more right after this.